now we're going to determine at the moment who's going to be the champion. As mentioned, these two will have the chance to glorify themselves as the first ever Splitgate champion. Miracles do happen here in the Gaming Weekly, but can it happen tonight? Can the miracle happen tonight? And a shotgun across the side of the face again. Texas Raiders down, folks. OrangePanda needs one more. OrangePanda making his debut in the Gaming Weekly. OrangePanda going to make his debut to become a champion. Look at this. Texas Raider out in the open, and OrangePanda does it. OrangePanda does it. OrangePanda becomes the first ever Splitgate champion on the first night ever in the Gaming Weekly. Prove to everybody that you can indeed do it, that you can be a champion in a community like this. Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Rebel, here we go. Enter TJ, history in the making. Lord, we're 30 seconds away. 99 points. You gotta be kidding me. Things are heating up here tonight. We are a week removed from the 1v1 Splitgate championship match. OrangePanda defeated Texas Raider to become the first ever Splitgate champion, but the series will continue on tonight as we determine the #1 contender. We'll get to that in just a minute. Hey everybody, welcome to Gameside. Adrian at Gameside alongside with my broadcast colleague XboxFreakPete joining us here tonight. Welcome, partner.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it is a pleasure to be here tonight, man. It's time.
It really is a pleasure to be here tonight. We got to talk about the controversy dealing with the Rebel Weekly, who over the past couple of weeks they've been targeting TGW. We understand the Rebel Weekly is wanting war again. How last week in the Gaming Weekly, let's not forget, they stated, quote, they wanted a community war part 4 to finally end it all. Will the Gaming Weekly accept tonight, though? You have that answer. Will the Gaming Weekly accept the community battle for what would be the 4th time in TGW? But right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is the blue team versus the red team. It is a free-for-all matchup between Insight Rift versus B4G. The winner of this matchup will go against Toaster, and the winner of that match will go against OrangePanda next week live in TGW to face for the championship live. And what an incredible matchup last week. It was Texas Raider versus OrangePanda. We understand Texas Raider was battling hard, but OrangePanda was able to win to become the champion. As you can see already now, it looks like at this point in time, Insight it's now gaining some lead with 2 kills, defeating B4G at this point in time. And we understand at this point in time, too, these two are going to have to try to reassess the situation. We got to add in some insight, something that Insight is perhaps doing right now, giving some insight, reassessing the situation. That way he can kill the opponent, which he did moments ago, now reaching up to 3 kills. The first man to actually, I'll get to that in just a second, and a shot right there to the midsection. I got to ask you, XboxFreakPete, you know, I understand that you have not played Splitgate. However, you got to agree that Splitgate does have a lot of potential to be a great, successful game.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, it's essentially a combination of Halo and Mortal. So with that in mind, you know, I mean, like, the possibilities are certainly endless with this.
Well, they are.
With this game called Splitgate.
Yeah, and let's not forget, it is also a mixture of games like Rocket League and Fortnite. It really is a mix of all, but you just hit the nail on the head. As you can see already now, right into the corner, a shot right there to the abdominal area. It looks like Insight Rift has been killed. Here we go right now. It looks like B4G is trying to gain some momentum. It's going to be very tough for him to try to climb up again to try to surpass Insight, but it can be done. OrangePanda last week was that championship victor, and what a shot right there from behind. Insight Rift now gaining the momentum that he needs. I was just going to make the point, though. OrangePanda must be looking on, perhaps maybe going to be re-strategizing his way so he can retain the championship for next week for the battle that's going to be transpiring. But of course, we got to wonder who's going to be the #1 contender. It could be one of these two. As you can see already entering into the room, does Insight Rift now entering into the room yet again to try to knock down the opponent, but instead walked right into that one. A shot right there to the skull, knocking down Insight. B4G may indeed have some momentum again, beginning to build. B4G has a chance to become the #1 contender, but again, it will be very tough for him to try to surpass 6 kills, something that Insight has right now. And being shot from behind, going downstairs, realizing it's the smart thing to hightail it at this point. Look at this, walk right into it again. Low ammo right now, but instead he killed Insight Rift. B4G's at 4 kills. Insight is at 6. Can B4G actually, perhaps, maybe, somehow, someway, well, end up being a shocker tonight? Xbox, we understand that you also have an announcement concerning the Rebel Weekly, in which, of course, that will happen at the end of the broadcast. But listen, I'll tell you this much, by the way. You are not afraid of the Rebel Weekly.
Yeah, man. I mean, Most definitely not, man. Never have.
And how do you respond? Well, how do you respond to the Rebel Weekly's comments stating that the Gaming Weekly, by the way, is not going to win, that the Gaming Weekly should not be around, how the Gaming Weekly is a very bad community? How do you respond to the derogatory comments courtesy of the Rebel Weekly?
Well, it seems to me that the Rebel Weekly is trying to sponge off the Gaming Weekly's success.
Yeah, they're trying to leech off of this entire community, the success and all that stuff. But remember what the Rebel Weekly did claim. The Rebel Weekly claimed that they're looking for competition, that they're trying to make a name for themselves. And what a great way to make a name for themselves to go against TGW, but I just don't see them winning anytime soon. And you can see now Insight Rift now, once again getting killed. We are tied, and what a way for B4G to have a great comeback, a major comeback. This could be an upset now. Insight was dominating, but at this point, it's B4G who was able to turn the tables, and we're tied. Look at B4G so stealthy at this juncture. Into the corner now, landing on his feet. Great bounce, trying to knock down the opponent. The opponent was trying to get one up, and once again he does. Taking the lead. We are literally just a couple minutes away from the conclusion of this matchup. Remember, folks, the winner of this match will indeed be facing the champion. And the question is, who's going to be the champion by next week? Will it be OrangePanda, or will it be the #1 contender, which we're going to be crowning here tonight? And wow, what an explosion. Look at the left side of your screen, and look at this, again, using the portal for their own advantage, something that you're going to want to do in this juncture in time, but instead it's Insight, though, who decided to thwart his plans, B4G's plans, that is, to not allow him to use the portal. Portals will be used over the next couple of minutes at this point. Look at this, getting shot down. Insight Rift is in trouble here, but instead B4G is going to make sure that he's going to hightail it over the next couple of minutes. Now he's going to re-strategize, go back out in the open, so he can perhaps maybe knock down the opponent. Now using, once again, the portal, so he can probably reach to the top, so he can get a kill, but instead the portal got closed. Very, very tricky over time. Splitgate again is very tricky. Insight Rift got killed, and once again, B4G is tied. What a matchup here tonight. Tipsy turn, going back and forth, shaking up the cobwebs, so to speak, for B4G. He's really fired up here tonight. Going to work against Insight Rift. Insight Rift to the top of the ceiling now. Losing contact, open up the portal, trying to find more. Trying to just evaluate, reassess everything, and perhaps maybe survey the environment. And that's one of the things that you're going to want to do, a very crucial point that you're going to want to do in a matchup like this. Survey your environment, that way you can actually try to find your opponent. Entering into the room. Here comes B4G trying to pick up all the momentum that he needs. Weapons are going to be very critical when it comes to this as well. You have so many weapons at your disposal. It is up to you, though, to try to use them so you can capitalize out of this matchup. Look at this entering into the opponent, but instead at the last second, Insight Rift, though, with a shot as the body literally contorted. The force was so big that the body collapsed onto the ground below. We are now again responding for B4G as B4G's trying to get one more kill so he can actually tie up this score. This is all for the #1 contendership, everybody, to see who's going to be the champion, the Splitgate champion at the end of the round. Well, at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Next week in TGW, the championship will be on the line. OrangePanda will be waiting at the end of the tunnel to defend the title against who? We're here to determine it in this broadcast. Opening up the portal, entering in, landing on his feet right now, realizing, well, that's the commentator, by the way. B4G getting a little confused at this juncture, turning around, and I believe he's getting near the opponent. Insight Rift, though, may have the opening at this point, ladies and gentlemen, and you got to watch out.
Hey, Hunter.
And at this point in time, we can confirm that it was Insight who defeated B4G, folks. It was Insight who actually won B4G the timeout. There was a timeout. And Insight, of course, won and will be advancing as the #1 contender. Are you okay, Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, we just got a new puppy today, you know, kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe, well, perhaps the puppy's excited for this as well, for your announcement at the end of the broadcast. The announcement will be said here tonight. Coming up next, though, it will be Insight Rift. He will be advancing to face Toaster up next. It is a free-for-all matchup to determine who will indeed be advancing to face the champion Orange Panda next week live in TGW. Everybody, Adrian and XboxFreakPete at Gameside. This is the final matchup right now. Moments ago, the winner who defeated B4G Insight Rift goes against none other than his friend in real life, Toasted WL, and these two are going to be foiling perhaps their plans to try to become the #1 contender. And already see now trying to do all he can to try to gain the momentum and the pace, but that's something that he's going to have to try to thwart when it comes to Toasted, who is Toasted right now, delivered already 2 kills at this juncture. XboxFreakPete, I'm not quite sure if you realize this or not, but the Rebel Weekly has stated that they're actually a lot stronger, that they're doing all they can to try to prepare for themselves, that they've been training for the past couple of years, that they have not forgotten 2017, that they're going to make sure that 2017 does not happen again, that it won't be lightning striking twice. Do you still believe in your mind the Rebel Weekly is a major threat?
No.
Well, point blank, just no. And guess what? Many people would agree with you. And I agree with you as well. The Rebel Weekly at this point in time, I believe it's just all charades now. The Rebel Weekly trying to make a name for themselves, trying to target TGW, and speaking about trying to make a name for themselves, Insight and Toasted are tied now. Insight trying to make a name for himself, Toasted trying to make a name for himself. Who's going to be the #1 contender? Who's going to be advancing in just a few moments? It's Insight Rift versus Toasted. Of course, we understand that these two are great friends, but it's one of those nights where you have to pivot against each other as great friends because it's all about the championship. The championship is a lot more important than friendship. I can guarantee you that. As you can see, Toasted now getting killed. Insight getting killed. Toasted advancing to 3 points. And these two know each other so well. They have been playing Splitgate for a while. And you best believe for Insight and Toasted, they perhaps are going to analyze their own strategy because they know each other so well that they're perhaps going to be understanding their moves, and they're going to perhaps maybe try to combat their own moves due to the fact that they've known each other for quite some time now. It is friend versus friend, but there can only be one room for the contendership. And look at this, taking out the pistol, trying to get the advantage point now, realizing that Toasted is trying to get also a kill. Insight Rift instead is going to be hiding into the corner, going to be staying still for the next couple of seconds so he can try to reassess himself, try to calm himself down. That way he can indeed lure his opponent in just like that. And I believe Toasted, wait a second, I believe Insight Rift, though, at that point was AFK. Toasted now realizing it, so therefore he's going to be playing the sportsmanship and not kill the AFK man.
Yeah.
Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the Rebel Weekly announcement will indeed be happening tonight. XboxFreakPete, my broadcast colleague, will be delivering his announcement at the end of the conclusion of this matchup. But before we get to that, though, we will be crowning a #1 contender to see who's going to be facing Orange Panda for the championship. Again, you best believe Orange Panda is going to have a close eye on this matchup. Look at this, Insight Rift, though, realizing that Toasted is behind the wall, going to go across the map, going to be flying through. Remember, you can fly in this game. That's one of the ups of this game. Shooting him into the small of the back, clubbing blow right into the back of the neck, but it looks like Toasted now reaching to the right, and again lured the opponent, that being Insight, and he shot Insight down. Insight facing the wrath of Toasted as Toasted reaches to now 4 kills. And Toasted has been absolutely owning here tonight. Very incredible job right now. But look at the Toasted. Toasted was out in the open. Insight's going to capitalize and take advantage of that. Delivered a shot into the back. The opponent went down and out. And at this point in time, you can only feel the frustration beginning to build for Toasted. Toasted's been dominating for the first couple of matches. But now it looks like it's going to be Insight who's going to be dominating perhaps. So Toasted is going to have to try to reassess everything, and not just that, but also try to perhaps maybe balance his pressure, because it's now Insight who tied it with Toasted. Toasted and Insight are tied here tonight. Insight Rift is standing still. This is not going to be good. Now back into the game. Now remember, the man with the most amount of points will win this matchup for the prestigious title. Orange Panda last week claiming that it was a very, very incredible matchup, that it felt nice, it felt good to be a champion in his debut night, becoming the Splitgate champion. Well, these two would love to end his championship reign, but it's going to be up to these two to try to defeat each other. That way they can advance to the championship round next week. But the question is, who's going to be advancing between the two? Toasted now having the upper hand, enter into the room, but Toasted getting killed right there. There's Insight Rift now, again, gaining some lead. Insight Rift knowing his friend very well, realizing that he was going to allow his friend to lure himself in, so he can, of course, he being Insight, shoot down Toasted. Toasted went down and out. And sometimes when Insight is actually standing still, I believe he's actually trying to debate which weapons he's going to be using. Weapons are, again, a very crucial factor when it comes to a game like this, as Toasted just got knocked down again. Toasted getting knocked down. Insight Rift now gaining control. He's in the driver's seat here. Can Insight continue this? Can Insight be the #1 contender to face the prestigious champion Orange Panda? Insight Rift, though, would love to become the #1 contender tonight. Insight Rift has to do all he can to continue his reign. He defeated moments ago B4G. He's got to carry that momentum to the next stage. He's got to defeat Toasted. Then he's got to prepare for himself for the championship round. That is if Insight wins. But Toasted now, look at Toasted. Toasted defeating Insight, and I believe Toasted a little showboat there. You saw how he was teabagging his opponent. I myself believe teabagging is a show of disrespect. I believe Toasted, though, was having a great time. But hey, listen, you got to play by the rules. You got to be making sure that you're, of course, the nice guy in this. Gaining respect for your fans and colleagues and against your opponents as well. Toasted, oh, here comes Toasted. And a shot to the arm, but instead Toasted backed up for just a couple of seconds. Have you noticed that? Toasted was actually getting shot, but instead decided to back up for a little bit, try to knock the equilibrium of Insight. That way Insight lost track and shot him down, but again, Toasted now getting killed. That was a revenge, so to speak, for Insight. Insight getting the revenge, and the lead is once again to Insight. Insight gaining the lead here. And realizing once again that this is going to be just only a moment in time for him to try to continue his way, his pavement, his construction, so to speak, of his TGW tenure to become the #1 contender and also to face the champion next week. Insight Rift enter into the room. One of the things that I do like about Splitgate is the fact that you have the ability to fly, which is probably one of the reasons why many people also understand that it's like Halo. Despite the fact that the Spartans somewhat look like Spartans from Halo, they do have the ability to fly just like Halo. And look at this, getting shot from behind. Toasted now going to lose sight though, and Insight instead is going to go downstairs, and perhaps maybe he's going to actually take a breather. Going to try to, perhaps maybe, I believe Insight was trying to beat the clock, so to speak, but it did not come his way. It's Toasted instead, shot Insight down. I believe Insight at that point in time was trying to run away from Toasted, realizing at that point in time, too, that he had more points, that he was going to perhaps beat the clock. That way he can win this entire matchup with just only 7, but instead it was Toasted who tied it up. So now, Insight needs to try to climb back up into this thing so he can actually win. We're going to go and spectate Toasted, and look at Toasted. Toasted is just so ruthless. A relentless showing from Toasted here tonight. These two meeting into the top, and wow, what a shot! Insight Rift, what a shot to the skull! He just took the lead! What an absolutely incredible shot, ladies and gentlemen! We are near the conclusion of this matchup. Can Toasted actually do the impossible and to defeat his friend Insight? Something that many people did not believe could happen. Insight was gaining control, but now it's Toasted at the last second with a shot to the skull himself. And now Toasted is trying to do all he can to win this matchup right now. Going through the portal, upstairs, realizing his opponent is near, turning around. No, at that point in time, no, he did not turn around. He went through the portal, now he turned around. Can he find the opponent though? And yes, he did it, ladies and gentlemen. It was Toasted. Toasted advanced. Toasted advanced tonight. He's going to be facing OrangePanda. He is your #1 contender. Congratulations on a stunning victory for Toasted WL, who did a great job here tonight defeating Insight. And hey, here's Insight, who joined us for the first time tonight along with Toasted, but Insight defeated B4G moments ago. He was in a battle zone against Toasted, so you have to give credit to the very, very sophisticated TGW superstar known as Insight Rift, but now we can call Toasted the #1 contender. He's going to be facing OrangePanda next week live in TGW for the championship on the line. And the question is now, can OrangePanda continue his championship reign, or is it going to be Toasted WL who's going to break that reign, and will he actually become the champion next week? It's going to be absolutely incredible. It will be hot action live next week in TGW. But again, the question remains, who will be the champion between OrangePanda and Toasted WL, as the contender will face the champion, the challenger against the champion live next week on Splitgate. Folks, we're joined by XboxFreakPete again, my broadcast colleague, who has an announcement to make concerning the Rebel Weekly.
Yeah, firstly, like, I'm sorry for the background noise, like, you know.
Everyone's excited.
Yeah, even the warm-ups. But, crap. Okay, this, I spelled the Rebel Weekly. I mean, like, are you even worth my time even, like, speaking about? Like, just to being honest. Like, you've tried, like, I don't know, like, 3 or 4 times. I mean, you've won a few times. But that, one time was because, at the time, minigun, Be us, but I mean, I'm pretty sure every other time we've won, I mean, you can correct me on that. But like, I mean, like, at this point, the Rebel Weekly is like no threat to us, like none at all. Okay.
So, here's my question to you. You're going to be speaking on behalf of TGW here tonight. Last week, the Gaming Weekly claimed that they wanted to fight us for the 4th time. What is your answer?
Well, I mean, they can fight us like if they want to, but they will once again lose. So I mean, you know. I mean,
well,
they're just going to lose again.
Well, we're going to take that as a yes. And Xbox, you know what? I'll tell you this much. The Rebel Weekly can try all they want to, but guess what? They're going to fail for what would be the 3rd time here. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. The Gaming Weekly is going to be facing the Rebel Weekly. It is now time for a Community War Part 4. Can the Gaming Weekly once again defeat the evil known as TRW? Or can TRW, and perhaps maybe, well, win and shock the entire community? We'll find out live as we continue this developing story.